So we can start our march and make our opposition to this genocidal war clear. Hands off Iran! Hands off Iran! All of us are here, and we will continue to march and demand an end to this aggression on Iran and an end to the genocide in Gaza. So make some noise! By a contingent of workers, labor organizers, and unionists that are joining us to demand an end to this aggression on Iran and stand in solidarity with the people of Gaza, with the people of Palestine, with the people of Iran, and with the greater global south. Make some noise for the labor movement!
Make some noise!
My name is Gaza. Those of you point for the relentless violence that has been unleashed on our people in the Middle East by the United States and Israel. How many dreams and ambitions and hopes and futures have been ripped away from our people? How many families have been ripped apart and displaced and taken away from their land because they dared to dream of independence and freedom from the yoke of imperialism? Shame! It's impossible to mark a starting point, but for the last 624 days, we have witnessed a degree of violence and impunity in the region that cannot be put into words. Israel, armed to the teeth by the United States and our own complicit government here in Canada, has been carrying out a relentless genocide in Gaza, has been displacing Palestinians in the West Bank, has been bombing Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, and as of last week now, Iran. Israel has been on a genocidal rampage throughout the region. It is the penultimate destabilizing force in the Middle East, and yet somehow what we hear from our leaders and our media is that any nation or people that opposes Israel's genocidal rampage is the aggressor. Israel is the only entity in the region with nuclear weapons. Israel refuses inspection of its nuclear armaments. Israel refuses to join the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty. Meanwhile, there is no evidence that Iran possesses nuclear weapons. Iran has been a signatory of the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty since 1968. Its nuclear program has been under regular inspection under the IAEA. The Iranian government even willingly joined a nuclear deal, the JCPOA, with the United States. It was the United States who ripped up and walked away from this agreement. In every way, Iran has demonstrated its willingness to engage in negotiations on nuclear power, despite being under consistent threat of war by Israel and sanctions by the United States that starve our people. And yet today, it is Iran, not Israel, that is being framed as the global boogeyman, as an out-of-control state with nuclear weapons, when there is not a lick of evidence to prove that that is the case. We know that our political and media class are not arbiters of justice. They use the language of human rights and peace when their record shows a complete disregard for human rights and peace. If the Canadian government cared about human rights, it would not have armed Saudi Arabia to drop bombs on the Yemeni people. If the Canadian government cared about human rights, it would not be accused of countless human rights violations through its mining industry in West Africa and Latin America. If the Canadian government cared about human rights, it would not sanction Iran to the point of blocking essential medical goods from entering the country. This is not about human rights, and it's not about nuclear weapons. Yesterday, the United States bombed Iran. Many people say this was a unilateral attack. Yet today, the Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney announced his full support of this attack. Mark Carney said that Iran's nuclear program is, quote, a grave threat to the international security. Again, it is Iran which is being marked as a threat to international security, not Israel, which has been committing a full-scale genocide of Palestinians and which has unprovokedly bombed countless countries in the region. Just last week, Prime Minister Mark Carney and the rest of the G7 met in Banff, Alberta. As Israel was continuing its bombardment of Iran, the German Chancellor expressed gratitude to Israel. He said Israel is, quote, doing the dirty work for all of us. Who is this us our leaders keep referring to? The German Chancellor was speaking on behalf of the Western world. The G7 thinks they're the policeman of the world, that they can dictate what other nations do if they fall out of line with their profit-driven interests. This is not about human rights. This is about resource extraction. It is about stealing our land, stealing our oil. What imperialism seeks is not human rights nor peace, but to put new regimes in power that will be friendly to Israel, that will allow Israel to continue its genocide, and that will allow the theft of the region's resources. Our obligation is to refute this expansion, to refute imperialism's lies, to refute our government arming and supporting this violence. Our obligation is to say no to war.
But what we are going through now is nothing compared to what the people of Gaza have faced for almost 19 months. It is nothing compared to what the people in Iran are facing right now. It is nothing compared to the siege, displacement, occupation, and destruction of the global south at the hands of these monsters that sit in these embassies that we are in front of right now. Shame! So let us make our voices high. Let us keep our energy high and make our opposition to this genocidal war loud and clear. Our next speaker is Ali Mallah. Ali is a respected community member and long-term organizer with a lifetime commitment working towards the liberation of Palestine and the entire Arab world. Make some noise for Ali Mallah!
Brothers, sisters, friends and comrades, look at what democracy looks like here in the streets of Toronto. Those hypocrites in the West who talks about democracy, look at what is going on in the US with visible minorities, with white migrants, and with other people from other backgrounds. Our gathering has been peaceful since we started getting together. But to the shame of the Toronto police, squander and waste hundreds of thousands of dollars for nothing but to intimidate us. We will not be intimidated. We will not be intimidated at all. We are the people of peace. We are the people of justice. And we have no fear whatsoever in taking the people for occupation, for aggression, and for war. We would have thought, after the departure of Mr. Selfie, so-called Justin Trudeau, that the new Prime Minister would be a little bit smarter. Unfortunately, he is not. He made a statement about Iran and nuclear facilities. Well, we challenge him. We challenge him to combine the millions and millions of people around the globe who are calling for ban on nuclear war machines and weapons of mass destruction, not just singling out Iran. Almost 25 years ago, with the war in Afghanistan, and with the war in Iraq, and the ongoing war on Palestine and Gaza, and later on the war in Lebanon, we have been proven right, because war is nothing good for anyone but the filthy rich. The filthy corporation, the bloodsuckers who sucked the life out of people from Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Palestine, or living in Gaza, and now Iran. What war is going? What war is good for? Absolutely nothing. You remember this? What war is good for? Absolutely nothing. My friends, the people of Iran are the right people to decide what type of system they want to have. It's not for a few collaborators, low-life agents of foreign entities. For the people who don't know, Iran, the Republic Islamic of Iran, or Bilad Faris, is a country, land, and people so rich in civilization, in culture, in science, more than 5,000 years. Is not up for a settler state less than 200 years, whether the US or Canada or others, to decide what is good for Iran. So the war started by the illegal Zionist state of Iran and now being added by the killing machine of the Satan, the White House. They are so stupid. Trust me. Like the settlers in occupied Palestine. They thought since 1948 they can submit the Palestinian people to surrender. But never, ever the Palestinian people will ever surrender. The same for the Iranis, the same for the Lebanese. We are people who submit only to God. And we don't submit to anybody else. My brothers and sisters, friends and comrades, we gathering here from all walks of life declare unconditional support and solidarity with the brothers and sisters in Iran, in Gaza and Palestine, in Lebanon, in any other oppressed country, and we are willing to face the aggressors, the oppressors, and we will fear nothing. Because anyone who doesn't feel the pain and suffering of others is not worthy to be called a human. And certainly that crazy asshole in the White House is not a decent human. You know his history with a fraud, money fraud, buying sex, doing all kinds of deeds. The world will be a much better place by not having him around as a president. So we call on the American people to continue their rallies and their demonstration to get rid of their little dictator. I know it's hard, and I can talk for ages, but I want to appeal to the rank and file of labor and to other community organizations and groups. Let's link arms together. Let's work together. We are one in the struggle, whether it's for workers' rights, for housing, for education, for better jobs, and of course for no war. Those bloodsuckers the barons and the bosses of military infrastructures are sucking the life and the blood of the workers and of the people just to fill more their dirty bank account. Carney, invest in housing, education, jobs. No war. No war. No war. Carney, you might be new to politics. We are willing to help you get educated. And if you are not sure about what Canadians want, I dare you, put it to referendum. Ask Canadians if they support war. Ask Canadians if they support nuclear purification. And ask Canadians if they stand with the people of Palestine, Gaza, and with the oppressed and not the oppressors. And let's hear what Canadians have to say. But what do we say? No war. No war. No war.
Egan, who is the president. Yes, make some noise for the labor movement. Carolyn has been president of the 14,000 member strong Steelworkers Toronto Area Council, Sunset 2004. Make some noise. Carolyn is also president of her own local 8300. Carolyn is an active community member and a leader in the labor and feminist movement. Make some noise for Carolyn Egan.
Thank you very much. And I'm honored to be here today with you. And Ali Mullah, when he was up there, said, rank and file the trade union movement, come and join arms. Well, we did come. We had a teach-in over at the Steel Hall. We brought, I was at 260 people registered for that teach-in. We marched over, and the Palestinian Youth Movement brought us in, saying the workers, united, will never be defeated. And I think that is exactly the message that I am trying to say today. I have been on these streets a very long time, as my bio Mohammed put forward there. And I remember very well the anti-war movements against the Iraq War, against the war in Afghanistan. And way before that, these streets and that U.S. consulate saw thousands, tens of thousands in the streets against the Vietnam War, when 80,000 young American deserters and war resistors came up because they will not be complicit in the invasion of a small peasant nation in Asia. And you know what? The strongest imperialist nation in the world at that time was defeated by the courage, the persistence, and the resistance of the Vietnamese people, along with an international anti-war movement. And I will tell you, there were very, very few Vietnamese communities around the world at that time. It's different today. And there was an international war movement because people understood the critical nature of colonialism, of imperialism, and that they had to stand up in the streets, at their universities, in their workplaces, in Parliament, and say no to an unjust war. And we are following that example today. As we look at history, we know that if we stand together with the people fighting occupation, fighting for their liberation, with a strong international anti-war movement, this can be won. And this is the lesson we are bringing to the streets of Toronto today. I remember, we were in the streets, 80,000 of us were in the streets, and we had a rally right down there across from the U.S. consulate. And in Montreal, there were 250,000 and tens of thousands in cities across this country. And we were so strong, we were so vocal, we were in such solidarity, even though we may have had difference amongst us, we stopped Jean Chrétien, who was then the Liberal Prime Minister of Canada, from participating, having Canada actively participate in the war against Iraq. And that's that is what we have to do. We have to stop the actions of this government in any way being complicit in what we see happening in Gaza, what we have to make it perfectly clear. There has to be a total arms embargo to the state of Israel. I saw here today many trade unions, presidents of TV locals, many steel workers coming from Guild Halls, and presidents of small locals, large locals, lots and lots of rank and file who want to learn how to build the movement in their workplaces, build the movement in the streets, and make sure that we still are in the process of building a strong, strong movement. If you look at what happened yesterday with the horrific bombing in Iran, and you see across the Middle East, whether it be in Lebanon or Qatar, in Yemen, so many countries. In London, there was a huge demonstration before the bombing. There was another demonstration today. The people are reacting, the workers are reacting, and we have to stay strong, strong, strong. We have to stay strong. And if we can stay strong in solidarity with the people of the Middle East, say, U.S. out of the Middle East, we have to have a free Gaza. And when I say that we supported the anti-war movement in countries around the world, we were against the war in Iraq, we were against the war in Afghanistan, that's not because we supported Saddam Hussein. No, it was not. It was not because we supported the Taliban in Afghanistan. That was not the reason why. It is because we are here because it is up to the people of Iran, it is up to the people of Gaza to determine their own future. And we will not allow warmongers like Trump, Netanyahu, and anyone else to feel that it is their right to determine the future of these people. We will not stand for it, we will stand in solidarity with them. And so, as everyone is saying, free, free Palestine, stop the bombing of Iran. Free, free Palestine, stop the bombing.
We said, look at our numbers. Today we came with thousands and thousands. We have been going out and protesting in thousands for not just 20 months, not just for 77 years, since the start of Zionism in Palestine. We have been protesting for Palestine, for indigenous, for Iran, and for all our struggles, and we need to be united. Protesting is a constitutional right for all of us. It's a fundamental human right for every one of you. DPS, the police, are taking away that right from you. They gave it to the Zionists who were counter-protesting against us, and they let them march. But they are not letting us march because they want to dictate how we march and where we go and what we do and what we say. I know we have been standing in the heat for a couple of hours, but we will not let DPS, who's working with the occupation in Palestine, who's complicit in the genocide, who's complicit in colonizing Turtle Island, who's complicit in supporting and giving diplomatic and financial cover to Israel and to all its allies. We will not let them dictate that. Not today, not tomorrow, not ever. We want to keep our energy high. We are blocking a major intersection in Toronto, one of the largest cities in the world. And today is proof that these institutions are not standing with us. So what do we have to do? We have to stand up with each other. There is no alternative but us standing up together and fighting every injustice in this world. The people united. We'll give another update in 5 minutes. What are we gonna do? But we need to keep our energy high, because today is not the last day we protest. We're gonna come again and again and again until the
Iranian civilians killed by the Zionist entity. Shame! Every single one of these civilians is a martyr and a victim of the US Zionists with the support of our government. Shame! And every day, more and more Palestinians in Gaza are being slaughtered and starved to death. Shame! Every single day, Palestinians in the West Bank are being displaced, kicked out of their homes, and subjected to endless humiliation and imprisonment. Shame! So let us keep our energy high. We know that it's a very hot day, but we must continue to unite around our demands and hear from different perspectives in our movement, because it is only through hearing each other and building with each other will we ever build a mass movement that will topple this terrorist regime. Free, free, free Palestine! Free, free, free! Who was a rabbi, yes, who was a rabbi, part of the Tory Carta International. He has come here today, all the way from New York City, to represent the real Jewish people who are truly following their commandments and engaging in their faith in the way that they believe is moral and right. So make some noise for Rabbi Feldman.
Thank you very much. The people united will never be We are gathered here today, people from all backgrounds, to condemn this recent Zionist attack on Iran. An unprovoked attack where so many innocent civilians, men, women and children, infrastructure has been attacked and brutalized. All of this is happening while we are witnessing over 20 months of genocide in Gaza. Shame! After 77 years of brutal, illegal occupation. We as Jewish people, we are embarrassed when all of this is being done, supposedly, in our name, and our religion is being misused to justify all these crimes. Shame! Mind you, this misrepresentation of our people and our religion is done on purpose, because they want to blame whoever criticizes it as anti-Semitic. Shame! Anti-Zionism is not anti-Semitism. The movement of Zionism, the state of Israel, or its actions in no way represents world Jewry or is condoned in the Jewish religion. killing, stealing, oppressing an entire people is not only criminal according to international law. These are violations of Judaism. We need to remember the difference between Judaism and Zionism. Judaism is a religion only, the belief in Almighty God and the practice of His commandments. No politics, no nationalism. Versus the movement of Zionism, which is about nationalism, turning their back to God and His religion, turning their back to the religion of their own grandparents. Shame. In the book of Psalms, King David of blessed memory refers to the evil nations as Kruvois Yach Putin. They desire war. This is what we are seeing with the movement of Zionism. They are continuously desiring war. In our case today, this war on Iran, this is because they want to divert world attention from the crimes they are committing in Gaza and in Palestine. They desire war. Every few years they need a war in order to implant fear and panic into Jewish people or non-Jews, in order to have them all express solidarity and support the supposed safety of the Jewish people. The state of Israel is not a self-defense. The state of Israel is offensive from the day it started. Jewish people didn't need a security, a self-defense in Palestine or in Iran. Jewish people lived in peace in Palestine, a small minority of Jews amongst the vast majority of Muslims. We were respected and protected before the invention of Zionism. It was in the 1920s when the movement of Zionism came in to oppress the indigenous Palestinian people. At that time, all this conflict started. The same is the case in Iran to the present day. Jewish people, and I'm telling you personal experience, which I witnessed in numerous visits in Iran in the recent 2 decades. Jewish people, even today, have no problem in Iran. They have flourishing, functioning synagogues, religious institutions. I met rabbis and scholars studying Torah. Religious people going out on the streets with a yarmulke and a religious head covering, and they have no problem. It is the movement of Zionism that needs enemies. They create enemies in order to gain support to their wicked criminal movement. We need to realize, we need to understand, when we are concerned about a better future for all of us, we must know what is the root cause to all this bloodshed, all this endless cycle of bloodshed where everyone suffers. It is not a difference of religion. We had differences of religions for the longest time, and we lived in peace, and we could manage to respect each other. It is the movement of Zionism which has destroyed the peace in Palestine. It is the crimes of Israel which is fueling this endless cycle of bloodshed. And it's the movement of Zionism, unfortunately, causing so much destruction in Iran to everyone involved. We need an end to this movement of Zionism. We hope that this ends in its entirety. We hope that this ends peacefully, with no more suffering of anyone. We had enough suffering, enough loss of lives, enough catastrophe for everyone. We need a better future, and we all have to together join forces and end this for the sake of everyone involved. Lift the siege on Gaza now!
To sing it, chant, one big loud voice. What are we gonna say to the Zionists? They say they are indigenous, but they came from Europe. Leave Palestine alone! Leave Palestine alone! Leave Palestine alone! And go back to Europe. They say they are indigenous.
For this program, Asude Noveen. Asude is a renowned community member and organizer. She has a Bachelor of Science in Industrial Engineering from Sharif Technical University in Tehran. She studied informatics at the Institut National Polytechnique, it's French name, de Grenoble in France. She has a diploma in She has a diploma in interior decoration and design from Stanford Institute in Canada, and she's also a visual artist working in painting and sculpture. She immigrated to Canada from Iran in 1995 and has been running her own small business. She's also the chair of the Iranian-Canadian Congress Cultural Committee. Give it up for Asude.
Hello. I would like to acknowledge that this land is located in the traditional territory of the Huron-Wendat, the Seneca, and the Mississauga of the Credit. The Iranian-Canadian Congress strongly condemned the unprovoked and brutal attack by the rogue state of Israel against Iran, as well as its relentless and ongoing assault on Palestine. We believe these attacks are part of a broader pattern of over 7 decades of unjust brutality, beginning with the Nakba and rooted in 19th century European settler colonial projects. We are deeply dismayed that the Canadian government continue to ignore international law while offering support to Prime Minister Netanyahu and his genocidal regime currently under investigation by the International Criminal Court for crime against humanity. Unlike Israel, Iran is a signatory of NPT and has adhered to IAEA regulation. Israel, by contrast, is not signatory and possesses undeclared nuclear weapons. Israel's bombing of Iranian nuclear site is a clear violation of international law. At its core, Israel is a settler colonial state established through the occupation of Palestine. Since its inception, it has been in continuous conflict with its neighbors. Today, it is carrying out a full-scale genocide against the Palestinian people in Gaza, while spreading terror throughout the region. Iran is simply its largest target. The International Court of Justice, the highest legal body in the world, has stated that Israel's occupation of Gaza Strip and the West Bank, and including East Jerusalem, is unlawful. Israel poses an existential threat to peace and stability across the globe. Despite all of this, Mr. Carney expresses concern about Iran's peaceful nuclear program and its defensive missile capability. The international community must respect the territorial integrity of Iran and its national sovereignty. Iran has the right to defend itself. We call on Canadian government to take a principled stance and act in accordance with international law. Stop using Canadian taxpayer money to fund military supplies for Israel. Clearly condemn Israel and United States unprovoked attack on Iran. Reopen the Iranian embassy in Ottawa. Lift sanctions against Iran. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. No justice, no justice.
So, as you might have seen here today, there exists a wide range of political views in Iranian society. However, any person of conscience must come out and condemn this attack by the Zionist war machine against our people. Many of those completely opposed to the Iranian government are clear-eyed on this issue, calling out the criminal Netanyahu's false promises of liberation for what it is: a lie, a sham, and a farce. The future of Iran is for the Iranian masses to decide alone, not foreign imperialists. This is laid out bare in the letter by 4 political prisoners, Golrokh Irai, Reyhaneh Ansari, Sakineh Parvaneh, and Verishe Moradi, which I will now read. The United States was born through massacre and crime, seized ownership through occupation, and throughout its existence turned the Middle East into a battlefield of endless wars through aggression and genocide. Israel, as a US military outpost in the Middle East, and as a representative of global superpowers after World War II, rose to power in the region. From the very beginning, in Palestine, Iraq, Afghanistan, and recently through the genocide in Gaza, it has displayed its brutality throughout the world. In none of these countries was there a nuclear bomb ever found, nor were there any real efforts towards uranium enrichment. Genocide needs no justification, but Western democracy, desperate to preserve its so-called image as a force for good, constantly seeks excuses to legitimize its ongoing brutality around the world. The identities of America and the fascist Israeli regime are rooted in aggression and child killing. Wherever they have turned their gaze, they have brought only war and destruction. Our liberation, the liberation of the people of Iran from the ruling dictatorship, is only possible through the mobilization of social forces and by relying on social forces, not by placing our hopes in foreign powers. Traitors to Iran, traitors to the people of the Middle East, traitors to the years of people's struggle for freedom against oppression. Know this: your betrayal and disgrace will be recorded in the memory of Iranian people and in history. Future generations will remember with shame those who danced on the graves of the defenseless. Stop bombing Iran now!
Stop bombing Iran now! We know that the police have been trying to prevent us from taking these streets, and yet here we are. Here we are. They can try to suppress our right to speak our truth. They can try to criminalize us. They can try to censor us, but the people's voice of moral clarity will shine through all of their bullshit. Whose streets? Our streets. Whose streets? Atrocities being committed right now. And we need to discuss our current role. We must take control of our destiny and put an end to this endless slaughter and war. In 2003, when the US regime tried to invade Iraq, hundreds of thousands of people across Canada rose up and did mass mobilizations to make their opposition to the Iraq war loud and clear. And because of the power of the people, the government of Canada refused to join the US coalition and refused to join the war on Iraq. We can, and we must do the same in this moment. The working class must take matters into its own hands. We cannot allow these corrupt monsters to decide our fate. We, the people, have the power as a collective to change the course of history. And most importantly, each and every one of us here has the responsibility to take personal action. We urge each and every one of you to get organized. It is not enough to show up to rallies and events. We urge you all to get organized. There are hundreds of writing solidarity groups across the country. There are student solidarity groups in every university. There are unions who are organizing for Palestine and Labor for Palestine, which is here today in great numbers, so make some noise for them. Let us be the voice of moral clarity. Let us be on the right side of history. Long live revolutionary struggle against imperialism, and long live international solidarity. On that note, we will be dispersing here today because we held our ground and took this intersection for hours in the sweltering heat. So make some noise for yourselves. This is not the last that the government will hear from us. We will continue to mobilize for Palestine, for Lebanon, for Syria, for Yemen, and for Iran. We will continue to stand in solidarity with our kin from the indigenous nations of Turtle Island. We will continue to build with the struggles of Pan-Africanists, whether it's for the Sudan or Congo. We will stand side by side and face imperialist aggression. On that note, I want to repeat what we said at the beginning of this rally. While we know there are differing opinions about the situation that Iran is in, we must all unite in this moment around the fact that Iran's future is determined by Iranians only. Thank you everyone for coming out today. Make some noise for yourselves, because without you, this could not have happened. Make some noise for all of you whether you are community members or students or unionists, whoever you are, thank you for coming out today. And please, please, and please, show up again and again, because we have the power to change the course of history and prevent us from being plunged into World War III. On that note, I've done a lot of yapping here. We urge you again to show up for our next mobilization. Stay tuned by following us on social media at PYM Toronto, at Iranians United for Palestine, at Iranian Canadian Congress, and we will continue to mobilize and grow in numbers day after day until we build a mass movement to put an end to this war of aggression. Thank you.
We can't let the Zionists, we can't let anyone divide us. We keep saying how strong we are fighting the same enemy. And before we fight them on the streets, we have to fight them within ourselves. We have to push for unity. We all come from different backgrounds, we have different viewpoints, but we all are standing together against the same enemy, and we need to keep doing that. So I ask all the brothers and sisters to not agitate each other. We said we have each other to protect. I'm sure there are Iranians being killed by Israel who are on both sides. There is one enemy, and we need to fight for that. That's it. Thank you, everyone.
Dispersing, we need our numbers to be concentrated to keep each other safe. So please start dispersing right now onto the sidewalks. We're going to start moving the truck. Please make your way to the sidewalks. If you need help getting to your car or train station, please approach any of our marshals who are wearing yellow vests. If you need any help at all. And if you have taken a flag from us, please bring it back to the truck. If you took a flag or a sign, please bring it back to the truck. I'm low-key having a heat stroke right now, so please bring them right now.